So circling back around to the Nimona thing, that brings me to a question I hear all the time. Don't Christians hate gay people? I've heard that a lot in both real life and my own comment section, and the answer is no. Let's say you have a friend who smokes cigarettes.
What's up, sloppers? So I feel like doing another one of these response videos that I did a couple months ago, and I don't want this to be regular. If you're new to this channel, hi, this isn't my normal content and I have a normal video coming soon, but I just wanted to talk about this because how stupid this response is. Okay, so for context, if you don't know who this is Bacon Guy, a YouTuber who has some interesting thoughts on gay people. He put out a short not too long ago saying how he refuses to cover anything about gay people, which I don't know if you gotta say that. You could have just said nothing. And now he's continuing to dig himself to a grave by doubling down. By basically saying everything he's saying is valid because he's a Christian. I've actually recently found my faith in God again, so I thought this would be fun to respond to. And let me make one thing clear, don't go and harass this guy. I'm already doing the job of basically making fun of him. You don't gotta do the same, alright? Don't send any hate in his way, you don't need to do that, and with all that context aside, let's get into it.
A while back, I made a rather controversial video. I usually review animated movies, and I'd been getting a lot of requests to review the Netflix movie Nimona. I declined reviewing that film because of its LGBT storyline and cited the reason as, I don't think that's the kind of content that should be shown to children. At the time, it was my most controversial video ever, but that time was a while back. The channel's come a long way since then.
He starts the video by basically yapping about how, yeah, the video was not really well liked, and it wasn't really his best work. So naturally, he made a video doubling down on literally everything he said. I am going to skip through some of this, by the way, mainly because I don't want to waste your time, and also he just basically talks about the video's performance and how a lot of people saw the video and didn't really like it. To me, that's not really necessary to respond to, so let's just get into the meat and bones.
My first mistake with the original video was assuming my argument could stand without bringing religion into it. I don't know why I thought that, because at the end of the day, there's literally no reason to be against LGBT content in kids' movies unless you're religious. Why shouldn't kids know about that? Why shouldn't it be normal? To our current culture, homosexuality is just as normal and okay as any straight relationship, so why on earth would I be against two dudes holding hands when I love the straight romance in Tangled? That was one of the biggest critiques with the original video, and my viewpoint doesn't really make sense unless I'm religious. The fact is, I am religious. I've been pretty open about my Christianity on this channel, but not the one time it really counted. So allow me to fix that here. If you've ever wondered why Christianity seems to be known for its opposition to homosexuality, it's because that's found in the Bible.
Alright, there's a lot to unpack here, so let's just start off with the obvious. I think there are some media that content are a little too much to talk about. Like, there are media that I won't personally watch because of its very graphic content. I understand that can be hard to sit through. However, if the content just includes two dudes just loving each other, who cares, dude? And to use your religious background to defend this point has always been a massive pet peeve of mine. And I will be bringing up reasons why as he talks about it, because I think a lot of it is very shallow.
There's multiple different verses that either listed or mentioned it as a sin, including Leviticus 18:22, 1 Corinthians 6, 9-10, and 1 Timothy 9-10. Many people in churches have tried to alter the passages or reinterpret them, but the reason so many Christians still consider homosexuality to be a sin is because that is the most obvious interpretation of the passages. You have to stretch or change scripture to get a positive Christian view of homosexuality. And if we change God's word to fit the current cultural moment, is he really the one in charge, or are we the ones in charge of God?
So he brings up the fact that there are a lot of Bible verses that talk about homosexuality being a sin, and a man laying with another man is a sin. This has actually been a massively debated topic in the Christian sphere on what these verses truly mean, because believe it or not, it is not black and white. I actually will link this PBS article in the description down below, because one, I think it's actually a pretty good read, and two, it kind of shows what I mean when I say that this isn't just a black and white verse. The article is written by people who know the Bible way better than I do, so I'm just going to do my best in trying to paraphrase what they mean. Essentially, the Bible doesn't have a stigma against gay people, it has a stigma against prostitution, especially male prostitution. And even then, in my own personal opinion, the Bible is a 3,000-year-old book, dude. I'm not saying it doesn't have lessons that should be taught to people, but I also believe that the Bible has a lot of things that have been dated for years. Not just in our modern culture that's more accepting to certain things, but also since like 1970s where they were a lot less accepting of things. In the same book, Leviticus, it says, "Do not wear clothing woven of two kinds of material." I shouldn't have to say why that's kind of dumb, but you won't see people cracking down on that and using that as a defense on why you shouldn't do that. That doesn't even talk about how the Bible has been used to justify a lot of bigotry, including racism and anti-Semitism, but that's a whole nother conversation that's not for this video. Maybe some Christians will disagree with me. I would love to hear from the comments below, but in my opinion, if you're taking the Bible literally, you are looking at the Bible completely wrong.
So circling back around to the Nimona thing, that brings me to a question I hear all the time.
I never thought I'll see the day when I see someone circle back to Nimona after talking about religion and how it justifies their hatred.
Don't Christians hate gay people? I've heard that a lot in both real life and my own comment section, and the answer is no. Let's say you have a friend who smokes cigarettes. You know what they're doing won't end well. So do you hate them? Do you push them away because of their choices? No. You treat them like a human being. You treat them like your friend, because they are. Now on the flip side, do you affirm them in that choice? Do you tell them that they're so strong and so brave for smoking? No. If you truly believe that what they're doing isn't right, you wouldn't be a good friend if you lied to them and told them that they were in the right, even if that would make things easy. That's the weird balance Christians have to walk.
Oh my god, that's actually really fucking funny! Let me start off with the easier part to talk about because, oh my god, we got a lot. Smoking cigars is not the same thing as loving another person of the same sex. Smoking is a very, very serious addiction that someone can build up over time. This is something that can be built from stress or a way of coping. I am personally against smoking. I do not like smoking, and I do agree with him when he says that he would talk someone down to smoking if he could. But I also do understand that smoking is a coping mechanism for many people, and it's the only way for some people to calm down. But it's still a harmful thing to do to your body that can cause things like lung cancer. Now, tell me, how does smoking have anything to do with being gay? Saying that smoking is on the same level as being homosexual is one of the dumbest arguments I have heard in a hot minute. Because smoking does have an actual effect to your body, while being gay doesn't have an effect at all. It's not like the minute you think about guys, you're gonna have testicular cancer. No, you're just gonna be gay. That shouldn't be hard to get. Also, there's a difference with queer people, mainly because they do actually risk a lot by being who they are. Coming out is very dangerous because you don't know how someone's going to react to that. I've had many queer people in my life who has come out to their parents and it hasn't gone well at all for them. That's why when someone comes out, it is seen as a brave thing to do, because you can face a lot of consequences for simply just saying, I like the same sex. No one's saying being gay is brave. They're saying coming out in such a harsh climate is a brave thing to do.
You love your friends, but you don't affirm them in the things that the Bible says are sinful. That doesn't mean you have to lead every conversation with your thoughts on the matter. Do you think you'd help your friend out of smoking by nagging them about it all the time? At the end of the day, you can't make that decision for them. They have to make it themselves. You're there to love them, but not to affirm them in that choice.
This is another issue I have with Christianity in general. This isn't love. You constantly being around someone and saying how this is sinful is not love. To me, that's just being very passive-aggressive for no real reason. Loving someone is accepting them for who they are. Homosexuality isn't something that they can just simply flip off. It's something that they feel internally that can't be changed. So why reject that? Why be their friend and say you love them, but constantly tell them what they're doing is wrong and they're sinning and God wouldn't like that? To me, love is fully accepting someone for who they are, no matter what they are. It's fully embracing that person for who they are, not rejecting it.
Bible is very clear that we are to be kind to others. You don't hate someone for sinning because, newsflash, you're a sinner too. You love them despite their sin, because that's exactly what Jesus does for you. And so while I don't support hatred, I also don't support homosexuality. There's a difference between hating someone and disagreeing with them, and I feel like our culture often forgets that.
While I do agree that there is a difference between hating someone and disagreeing with someone, I don't think this applies to this kind of conversation. Not only because I believe that homosexuality is something that you're going to be on one side of or another, but also because you are sharing a bit of bigotry by just not wanting to talk about homosexual people in your videos.
But I want to draw your attention back to 1 Timothy 9-10 again. If you read off the list of sins, sure enough, homosexuality is one of them. But do you notice the one at the end? The Bible also points out lying as a sin. And while I assume not everyone who's watching this video is homosexual, I know for a fact everyone has told a lie. So that means that, essentially, we're all in the same boat.
Fun fact, it's actually possible that Timothy has been mistranslated. Again, I'll let someone who's a lot better at explaining stuff explain it in more detail. In this case, I'm going to link a Reddit post from the Open Christian subreddit. And while I'm at it, I'm also going to shout out this one post from Debate Religion subreddit that also kind of goes into detail of Leviticus, so I'll leave them both in the description down below if you want to read them. But essentially, it is very possible for Corinthians 6:9 and 1 Timothy 1:10 to be very mistranslated and construed to someone's beliefs, with people actually believing the actual translation being relating to sexual assault. Gee, I wonder why someone would change that!
In the same boat. I feel like there's churches that hone in on homosexuality being the sin to end all sins, but at the end of the day, it's a sin. Yes, it is a sin, but it's a sin, not the sin.
So then why treat it as such a massive issue and a topic that you don't want to cover? If you think it's a sin and not the sin, then why be so against covering LGBT topics if it's just a sin? Going one step further, and I bet a lot of you have been waiting for me to point this out, but why are you playing Celeste? If LGBT stuff is a sin and you refuse to cover that, shouldn't you not play that game? I'll take it an even step further. If you're not going to cover anything that's seen as sinful, does that mean you're not going to cover anything like Bad Guys that has a lot of lying and stealing? Or from what I've seen, you've covered K-pop Demon Hunters just fine, and that's a movie that has demons in it. Do you see how stupid it is to specifically cut out gay people from your videos, but just not do the same for any other sinful stuff? I'm going to skip around this a bit because after a while it becomes a massive Bible study and I don't feel like wasting your time.
And so that's a very long way to lead around to the second problem in my Navona video. I referred to LGBT content as sexual content. That caused a lot of people to assume I saw moments like two guys holding hands, and in my mind I instantly jumped to gay sex, which was not what I meant at all. Because the Bible says homosexuality is a sin, it's not something I would want to show to children in a positive light. And that's the point I tried communicating that I think was communicated rather poorly.
No, I think we got that. I made the mistake of saying being gay is sexual, but I still believe being gay is sexual. This video is so fucking stupid. No. The reason was clear. Everyone got the reason. The problem was the reason. I don't think anyone's gonna be watching this video and think, man, I thought he was a dick before, but he was a Christian, so I guess he wasn't. Adding the religious background doesn't come off as you clarifying yourself, it comes off as you using it to justify your hatred. And as much as you want to deny that this isn't hatred, it is. If you are actively discouraging the use of LGBT topics in a positive light, that is hateful. I don't really see how that's not hateful. I also just hate how people complicate the LGBT topic to kids. Because it's not like you have to tell them how they have sex and how they do all this stuff. All you literally have to say is just, oh, he likes dude and she like girls. It's not that hard. It's not like you have to sit down and teach them about every sexuality that ever existed. All you literally have to do is the bare minimum. The only people who are making it weird are people like this and Snoop Dogg for some reason.
If this is what my channel has to be known for, I'd rather it be for the right reasons than for reasons I didn't communicate well.
What do you mean by that?
I say I won't support Nimona, but I'm a huge supporter of Win or Lose, Spider-Verse 2, and Celeste, all of which have trans flags or storylines. So why am I okay with those, but not the one tiny mention of the cops in Gravity Falls being gay? My line is, would a child who's unfamiliar with anything LGBT pick up on it? I don't think they would in any of those three examples. Both Celeste and Spider-Verse 2 have trans flags, but not only are they pretty out of view, if you don't know what transgenderism is, then the flag's not going to mean anything to you.
I'm watching the stream while you try not to laugh, bro. That's disrespectful, bro. What's wrong with you, bro? Stop laughing, bro. Look at you smiling, bro. You just.
I haven't seen Win or Lose because I don't watch Disney that much, but I will speak on the others because I am massive fans of all three of them. Spider-Verse has one mention of a trans flag, yeah, but like, the point still stands. Just because it's subtle doesn't necessarily mean it's not there, and I don't understand how the cops in Gravity Falls are somehow less subtle, because for most of the series, they're just not gay together, until like the very end. Even then, as a kid, it went completely over my head, to the point where when I revisited the show, I didn't know and was shocked by it. Not because it was bad, but because I just didn't know. And Celeste. The main character is literally a trans woman. How is that subtle?
Currently, would they notice it is still the line. Things like Gravity Falls, Onward, and Elemental, which does have a non-binary character with a girlfriend, that's the only reason I referenced it in the original video, have characters and lines kids could probably...
Okay, but why does that matter? Again, I don't understand why this is such a hard topic to explain to kids. If they pick up on the lines, just explain it to them. It's not that hard. Yes, I agree that this is something that's up to parents to teach kids about. But at the same time, especially in this day and age, it's not like they're not gonna see it. I always hate this mindset of you have to hide every single thing that may be slightly harmful to your kid, because kids need to learn this eventually. Because if not, they're gonna be super confused when they eventually grow older.
Unless I'm forgetting something, the only openly LGBT property I have supported is Apex Legends, which
Oh hell no, he's an Apex Legends fan! Kill him!
I won't be reviewing things like The Owl House, Nimona, or even Sony's Mitchells vs. the Machines. I really enjoyed that movie when I watched it, but the LGBT plotline is a little too overt in that one for me to support with a review.
Okay, I might be stupid, but what the fuck are you talking about? Mitchells vs. the Machine didn't have any trans or LGBT storylines at all. Wait, hold up. Oh, I didn't know about that. Wait, how is that not subtle?
And just like in my original Nimona video, I'm not calling for a boycott against these properties or telling you what to watch and what to skip. You can make your own decisions. This is simply where I personally draw the line for what I will review. Long story short, I don't think my original video was great. My phrasing needed work, my points lacked a biblical foundation, and I was pretty dumb for assuming I could fit a topic like that into a 1-minute video.
Yes, your original video was bad, but you misunderstand why that was bad. In my opinion, you actually made it way worse. All you did was just reiterate what you said in that original video, but put a religious sprinkle on it, so it's okay. Your points are still hypocritical. The only difference is you use religion as some kind of shield to back up your points. All you literally had to do was just either not say anything at all and move on, or just simply admit that the video was just wrong to make in the first place. But yeah, that's the end of that response, and yeah, that was really bad. I honestly thought it was hilarious, to be honest, because it was just so goddamn stupid the entire time. Also, I thought it was really funny that in the description, he admitted he uses Saber Sparks' whole, like, title and because it fits so well. Yeah, they're basically going through the same thing. Yeah, that makes sense. Jokes aside, I have never seen a YouTuber just completely shit the bed in a response so bad. And I just had to make a video on it because it was so goofy, man. Moral of the story is don't use religion as a shield to justify bigotry, and it's a goddamn movie, just watch it. Thanks for watching this video if you stick to the end. This is a different video from what I usually like to make. I don't usually make that many commentary videos, but I hope you enjoyed it anyways. I got an actual video coming very soon, I hope. I really want that video to come out, so look forward to that video on Saturday. Otherwise, like I said in the beginning of the video, don't go harass this guy. You don't need to do anything. Just laugh at him, and that's all you really need to do.